What's up everybody, it's the Pickleball Chiropractor, and today I'm coming at you with an unedited, longer form video breaking down the differences between the backhand roll, the backhand flick, and the backhand poke. And there might be a little bonus at the very end talking about a new shot that my friend Ed Ju helped me learn, so stay tuned till the very end to see what that shot is exactly. So essentially what we're going to break down for every shot is when we would use each shot and the motion behind each shot. So like 2 or 3 key steps for each of those balls. So first we're going to talk about the backhand roll. Before we get into the actual mechanics and technique of it, I want to talk to you guys about when we would actually look to hit that shot in the first place. So with all of these 3 shots, we should be looking to be set relatively close to the kitchen line, looking to take these balls out of the air. Now with the backhand roll specifically, the advantage to the backhand roll is that it's primarily a low to high motion, so you're gonna get a lot of top spin, meaning that you can hit backhand rolls from pretty low positions on your body. Now, I'm 6'6", a lot of people are not that tall, so I like to use the net as well for a reference for some people. So for me, I know if a ball's around my knee height, I would look to roll that ball because it's below the height of the net. But for most people in general, middle of the net here is a great place to roll from. So now that we kind of know where we would look to hit a roll from, it's a ball out of the air, it's around my knee, mid-net height. Let's talk about the mechanics of it a little bit. So 3 of the most important steps for the backhand roll is how we're setting our paddle, and then where we're contacting the ball, and how we're finishing our swing. So for the roll specifically, we want to make sure that we are setting our paddle way below the height of the ball. Because if we don't get below this ball, we can't lift it up enough to make it up and over the net. So if you watch me here, if I set at the same height as the ball, there's no way, regardless of how much lift I give this ball, that I can lift it up and over. So first and foremost, we want to start way below that ball so we can lift it up and over, okay? Point number 2 is contact point. So where we're contacting the ball, we want to contact the ball a bit in front of our body. We don't want to contact too close because we can get jammed into our own body here. So contacting just kind of at a natural length, wherever your arm falls out in front of you, I usually say is a pretty good spot to contact this ball. And then in terms of follow through for this one, again, the emphasis is very much so on low to high motion. If you're not lifting that ball from below the net, it's not going to make it up and over the net. Okay, so those are the 3 steps for the backhand roll. Now we're going to talk about the backhand flick and how it's different. So for starters, again, let's talk about when we would actually hit a backhand flick. We would look to hit a backhand flick when the ball is at least net height, if not even a little bit higher. So for me, again, I'm 6'6", but most of the time I use my hips as a marker. You can see on my hips here, just above the height of the net. But for other people, they like using the net as more of a permanent reference marker here. So use the net as a marker. Anything around net height or higher is a great time to flick. Now, the advantage of the flick is it's a much more linear motion. So the roll, very much a low to high shot, emphasis on the motion low to high with the roll. With the flick, we're very much getting through the ball. So it's a much more powerful shot, and you'll see people typically end points with a backhand flick. So a lot of punch, a lot of power, a lot of wrist snap. Now, in terms of setting for this shot and a couple key things, it's okay because this ball is above net height. It's actually okay to set near the height of the ball because we're essentially just punching straight through. We don't need to set super low below the ball. One thing I like to do on these is close my paddle face ever so slightly to really allow me to hit through and know that my ball is going to stay in. If you approach this ball with a straight continental grip, sometimes you can snap your wrist at it and it will just fly out. So I always like to close my grip just a little bit before I hit my backhand flicks. And then number 3 is just a reference I like to use to understand the motion. It's kind of like throwing a frisbee. You are unlocking your wrist through this ball. You're extending your wrist through this ball. Whereas with the roll, we're just moving up. So very different motions. You should be able to just look at someone's motion, not even watch the ball, and know if they're hitting a roll versus a flick. They should be night and day different. Cool. Shot number 3 we're gonna go over is the backhand poke. And this one, I will admit, I use the least out of all 3 of these. It's just a bit of a riskier shot. In a game of pickleball, maybe I use it once or twice, if that, depending on the level of player I'm playing. I would say it's used more as a disguised, unconventional shot to just catch someone off balance and surprise them, basically. So technique-wise for this, before we get to technique, let's talk about when we would use it. So I'd say, again, mid-height on the net is a good marker. Again, if you're using it for complete surprise, you could go a little bit lower than that, but if the ball's down near your ankles, I'd be cautious. I'd want at least mid-net height on these. For this one, the unique thing about the poke is I'm actually gonna rotate my paddle head down because I need to get to that lower ball. And then all I'm doing for this one is just a quick snap, and you can see I'm decelerating super quickly. So unlike the roll and the flick, where there's a lot of follow through, for the poke, I'm literally just poke, 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 jab, right at the ball super quick. So it looks something like this, just a super low ball that I'm just kind of poking at a weird spot on my opponent, maybe an inside shoulder to get them chicken winged, and they're not gonna expect it. So again, I don't use that shot quite as much as the other two, but it's a really good shot, just kind of keep your opponent off balance if you haven't hit it yet in that game. And this is where we get into the bonus shot for the episode. So this is called the backhand jab, and it's actually a shot that I just learned from my friend Ed. I kind of described it as a mix between the poke and the flick. It's a very aggressive shot, and it kind of blends the two. So if you recall from the flick, we're kind of setting at a ball height similar to the ball with our paddle, we're extending through. With the poke, we're dropping our paddle tip and just snapping our wrist at the ball. For the jab, you essentially set between those two. Here, so I try and drop this corner down, and then you bring the paddle back, and it's a quick snap and stop. Snap and stop. So the advantage to this one is it gets a little bit of topspin, so you can attack a ball from below net height and really still snap through it. Because remember with the flick, we really only want to be flicking when that ball is above net height. So the jab gives you that opportunity to generate some topspin and power from below net height. So again, it's still a shot in beta testing for me, but it should look something like that, where it's a quick motion with your wrist. And it gets a little bit of topspin, so you don't have to worry about it flying out, and it really catches your opponent off guard because it's a pretty low ball that you're just snapping right in front of them. So as long as you're hitting good spots on your opponent, it should be a pretty good shot to catch them off balance, and it comes with quite a bit of pace as well. So thank you guys for joining me. This is a bit of a backhand masterclass covering 4 shots. So if you guys enjoyed this, let me know in the comments and what you would want to see next as well, because I'm looking to expand on my YouTube here. So stay in touch and let me know what you guys want to see next. Appreciate you guys' time. Take care.